and do for ourselves that you do. Yahweh God, we thank you for the days coming, the days past, the day present. Yahweh God, we thank you for the things that we see that we don't understand. Yet still, Yahweh God, you are God of that which is in control of that which is seen and that which is unseen. Yahweh God, we thank you and pray that we walk and keep the Torah with all our mind, with all our body, with all our might. And we pray, Yahweh, as you have blessed our ancestors with the covenant and the land that you've given us, that we might return in the time that you have appointed. Yahweh God, we thank you and pray that we walk and do the things that please you. Amen.
Amen.
So, as we commence in our understanding of the things that are around us, we have to understand that the wicked has declared a war with God himself. The wicked has told God, and as we read it, he has challenged in his wickedness by saying things that as we read it, we know that he has challenged God. You understand what I'm saying? It says here, God is not in all his thoughts. The wicked through the pride of his countenance will not seek after Elohim. Elohim is not in all his thoughts. So we know by reading this that he does not consider God himself. And he makes these statements, and his whole challenge is on the things that he feel that will give him the upper hand. That's why when we read this book called the Bible, we know that the wicked man trusts in his wealth. He doesn't trust in God. His wealth is what he has his trust in. So we know through scriptures that the wicked man doesn't believe that if righteousness is to come into the world, it ain't going to come through him. And since he does not believe in God, who God is, he says in his actions to the poor and needy, you can really only think about the worst that can be done to you, because that's exactly what I'm going to do. Because he has no respect at all for the things that pertain to the living God. He has none. And so we have to realize, and we have to put in place that which might help us to overcome his wickedness, because we should want to know, well, is there a way out of this? Because there is. And this is why we search the scriptures zealously and ask Yahweh God to help us, because there is no mercy with those that are wicked. So as it says, and we will be reading how the wicked man thinks. I mean, he has a way of thinking, because he doesn't insert and put God in his thoughts. God is not in all his thoughts. He said, man, there's no, it says here in Psalm 52, verse 7, but he trusts in the abundance of his riches and strengthen his hands in wickedness. Do you understand? It says this man trusts in abundance of riches, and he strengthens himself in evil doings. This is what it says. This man has no respect for anything other than doing things that is against God himself. So when we read this book, even the man says, he says, for I was envious at the foolish when I saw the prosperity of the wicked. He said, man, I was envious at them because they had so much going for them. He said, man, they were in abundance. He said, man, why would a man, you don't hear too many people being envious at poor people. But we really want to really understand that we know that the wicked man has an abundance. And he said this. Let us go into Job chapter 20. And let us read and find out that the end of the wicked man is not a beautiful sight. We're going to also read Job 18. So, and I want to read this because this is exciting. Yea, the light of the wicked shall be put out, and the sparks of his fire shall not shine. So let's read Job 18, starting at verse 5. Because this is, we need to do a deep profile of the wicked man. Let's go, because he don't believe in God. And people envy these riches that he had. But see, you should not envy them. Because once you understand that wickedness will only bring a lot more destruction than you know. But let us read this, starting at Job 18, verse 5.
Yea, the light of the wicked shall be put out, and the spark of his fire shall not shine. The light shall be dark in his tabernacle, and his candle shall be put out with him. The steps of his strength shall be straightened, and his own counsel shall cast him out.
Yeah, his own counsel shall cast him down. Go ahead.
For he is cast into a net by his own feet.
Yeah, scheming. That's what he's doing. Go ahead.
And he walketh upon a snare. The gin shall take him by the heel, and the robber shall prevail against him.
Yes, see, go ahead.
The snare is laid for him in the ground, and a trap for him in the way. Terrors shall make him afraid on every side, and shall drive him to his feet. His strength shall be hunger biting, and destruction shall be ready at his side. It shall devour the strength of his skin.
That's right.
Even the firstborn of death shall devour his strength.
His confidence shall be rooted out of his tabernacle. It shall bring him to the king of terrors. Remember, he said he's going to bring him to the king of terrors. It shall dwell in his tabernacle because it is none of his. Go ahead. Brimstone shall be scattered upon his habitation. His root shall be dried up beneath, and above shall his branches be cut off. Go ahead.
His remembrance shall perish from the earth, and he shall have no name in the street.
You remember when we read how it said how they put their names? Yes, see, they put their names in these places so that they might be remembered, but all this going to be cut off. Go ahead.
It says, he shall be driven from light into darkness.
Yeah, didn't it say they should go with their fathers? We read that. See, they're going to go. We are the children of the light. We live in a world of duality, light and darkness. He's going to be driven into darkness. Go ahead.
And chased out of the world.
That's
He
right.
shall neither have son nor nephew among his people, nor any remaining in his dwellings. That they that come after him shall be astounded at his day, as they that went from were frightened. Surely such are the dwelling of the wicked, and this is the place of him that knoweth not God.
That's right. See, he don't know no God. See, that's right. It says, nor any remembrance in his dwelling. They that come after him shall be astonished at his day, as they that were before were affrighted. Surely such are the dwellings of the wicked, and this is the place of him that knoweth not God. See, because he don't want to retain Yahweh God in his remembrance. But we want to continue this because we want to get a good understanding of what the wicked man's about. So let's go to Job 21. Where do the wicked live? Become old, yea, or mighty in power. Their seed is established in their sight with them. See? And their offspring before their eyes. Their houses are safe from fear. Neither is the rod of Allahayimah upon them. See, because if God touches them, how would they take and rekindle and rejuvenate this hatred that they have for righteousness? Because they don't have no love for what is right. Because to have love for what is right is to kindle a true thought or fear of Yahweh God. But at the same time, it says, their bulls gendereth and faileth not, their cows cleaveth and cast not her calf. They send forth their little ones like a flock, and their children dance. They take the tambourine and harp, and rejoice at the sound of the organ. They spend their days in wealth, and in a moment go down to the grave. Therefore they say unto Allahayimah, depart from us, for we desire not the knowledge of thy ways. What is the Almighty that we should serve him? See, that's the wicked. That's how they did. So what you say? And what profit have we if we pray unto thee, unto him? They say, man, we got everything. It's of no profit if I pray to you. What you gonna give me? I got it. And when it said, lo, their good is not in their own hands. That's what God said, man, how dare them? Their good ain't in their own hands. But let us go. He says, the counsel of the wicked is far from me. When they sit down in their counsel, they don't bring no God. God is not in all of their thoughts. We just read that. If you're going to get salvation, it definitely won't be for them. And that's why you must learn to think the best of yourself. And how do you learn that? By reading the Torah and knowing. So he says, how often is the candle of the wicked put out? And how often cometh the destruction upon them? Allahayimah distributes sorrow in his anger. They are as stubble before the wind, and as a shaft that the storm carrieth away. Allahayimah layeth up his iniquities for his children. Yeah, this stuff is laid up for their children. That's right. That's why I said, and when this thing happens, they're going to say, our fathers have lied to us. They're liars. They're going to not accept the will of their parents to perpetuate this evilness that their fathers set in counsel and put together. So he says, He rewarded him, and he shall know it. His eyes shall see his destruction, and he shall drink of the wrath of the Almighty. See, Yahweh is going to make sure, and it goes over. It says this, and do ye not know their token, that the wicked is reserved to the day of destruction? That's his portion. Yahweh wants to give him something that he's deserving of. And when we go to Job 27, Job 27 starting at verse 13, we want to know that the wicked man has a... Go ahead.
This is the portion of a wicked man with Ahima, and the inheritance of oppressors, which they shall receive of the Almighty. If his children be multiplied, it is for the sword, and his offspring shall not be satisfied with bread. Those that remain of him shall be buried in death, and his widow shall not weep. Though he heap up silver as the dust, and prepare remnants as the clay, he may prepare it, but the just shall put it on, and the innocent shall divide the silver. He buildeth the house as a moth, and as a booth that keepeth market. The rich man shall lie down, but he shall not be gathered. He opens his eyes, and he is not. Terror take hold on him as water. A tempest stealeth him away in the night. The east wind carrieth him away, and he departeth as a storm hurrieth him out of his place. For I cast upon him, and not spare. He would fain flee out of his hand. Men shall clap their hands at him, and shall hiss him out of his place.
Yeah, ain't nobody going to feel sorry for the wicked man leaving. Who gonna be sorry for him leaving? Man, like, hey, going out of here. I mean, because what they plan on doing here is unrighteous. Man, these people will take wickedness to another level. And I'm saying what he says here that's so beautiful that I tried to explain to you about. It says, terror takes hold of him as waters. Terror. You understand what I'm saying? We just got reading, we read. Man, when I tell you what it said, and the king of terror shall be by him. The king of terror. See, because they deserve what they have given, it says, and it shall bring him to the king of terrors. And that's Job 18 verse 15. But what did it say in Psalm? And let's go back to the whole lick, or we're going to come back, but let's go back and see that it holds true. This is how you find truth. You understand? Let's go to Psalm 73. And it tells them, because we want to know, these wicked people, they've gotten away with a lot of stuff. But let us go to Psalm 73. And when we read, for I was envious at the foolish when I saw the prosperity of the wicked. You understand what I'm saying? He says, read at 12 of 73, what it says, Behold,
these are the ungodly who prosper in the world.
That's right.
They increase riches.
Yeah, see, these are the ungodly. But they're going to prosper in this world. But what did Yahweh say? Let's go down to 16. What it says, when I thought to know this, go ahead.
When I thought to know this, it was too painful for me until I went into a sanctuary of God. Then understood I therein.
Yeah, see, he said, then I understand therein. Then understand I therein. Go ahead.
Surely thou didst set them in slippery places. Thou castest them down into destruction. How are thy brought into desolation, and as in a moment they are utterly consumed with terror.
That's right. They're going to be utterly consumed with terrors. You understand what I'm saying? Utterly. When this thing take hold of them, they're going to mess them up. You understand? Because Yahweh God is not pleased that they would desert him and how their children take hold of things that is unright. Let us go back to Job 20. Let's start at verse 4 of chapter 20 of Job. What does it say? Come on.
Knowest thou that this of old, since there was placed upon earth, that the trumpet of the wicked is short?
That the triumphing of the wicked, it says, know thou not this of old, since man was placed upon the earth, that the triumphing of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment. If we go down to verse 10, what does it say?
It says, his children shall seek to please the poor.
Yeah, see, his children, knowing what the fathers have done, will seek to undo the wrong. See, this is it. It says, his children shall seek to please the poor. Go ahead.
And his hands shall restore their goods.
That's right. See, his children, that's what his children going to do. They going to seek to undo the miserable wrong that their parents have done. They ain't going to drop this on their kids. Their kids don't want nothing to do with this stuff. When they see the misery of their fathers, they're going to say, man, give that stuff back. We don't want it. What it's going to do? Look what happened to them. They're going to desert the policies that their parents have instituted in this planet. They ain't going to want nothing to do with it. Because if we're not going to get justice from the wicked man, his children are going to try to set things back in order. So what does it say? Okay, so we know. Okay, his bones are full of the sins of his youth, which shall lie down with him in the dust. Go ahead. 12.
Thou wickedness be sweet in his mouth.
Oh, wickedness is sweet in his mouth.
Though he hide under his tongue, though he spare it and forsake it not, but keep it still within his mouth. Yet his meat in his bowels is turned. It is the gall of asp within him.
He is a poison, his own meat, because he has stolen. He has done so much wrong that when he eats, it's a poison to him. Because his body is polluted with such filthy thoughts that he is a polluted vessel, because he habits so much diabolical, wicked things that he can't eat, that the food nourishes his body. It poisons him because he is a poison man. Go ahead.
He hath swallowed up riches, and he shall vomit them up again.
That's right.
Allahayimah shall cast them out of his belly. He shall suck the poison of asp, and viper's tongue shall clay him.
Shall slay
him.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
He shall not see the rivers, the floods, the brooks of honey, and butter. That which he labored for shall he restore, and shall not swallow it down. According to his substance shall the restitution be, and he shall not rejoice therein, because he have oppressed and have forsaken the poor.
That's right. See, read this stuff. This stuff's some heavy stuff. You got to understand, man. I want to know, you think he going to get away with this? That's right. You understand? It says here, what? Because he has oppressed and forsaken the poor, because he has violently taken away a house which he built not. That's right.
And this is exactly what they doing to the description. They rob these people, take advantage of them in every way, write ordinance, redirect righteousness, and make it turn into wickedness because he's a poison man. Go ahead.
Surely he shall not feel quietness in his belly.
That's right.
He shall not save of that which he desireth. There shall none of his meat be left. Therefore shall no man look for his goods. In the fullness of his sufficiencies he shall be in straits. Every hand of the wicked shall come upon him. When he is about to fill his belly, Allahayimah will cast the fury of his wrath upon him, and shall rain it upon him while he is eating. He shall flee from the iron weapon, and bow of steel shall strike him through. It is drawn and cometh out of the body.
Yeah, see.
The glittering sword cometh out of his gulf.
And it says, all darkness shall be hid in his secret places. A fire not blown shall consume him. And it shall go ill with him that is left in his tabernacle. The heavens shall reveal his iniquity, and the earth shall rise up against him. Isn't the earth rising up against him? Go read this stuff. It's some heavy stuff. Read this. Search it out, because you don't want to be nowhere around it. The increase of his house shall depart. All of a sudden he gonna look up, and one day it ain't gonna be there. It says, and his goods shall flow away in the day of his wrath. This is the portion of a wicked man from Allahayimah. This is his portion. And the heritage appointed him unto him by Allahayimah. This is what is his portion. When you read this, and he will get it. So I just want to say to you, may Yahweh bless each and every one of us. Because the wicked man will get by. He won't get away. And the thing about it is that you must make your heroes and your champions those that will tell you the absolute truth of what truth is. So I'd like to introduce our next book, Leviticus, and we'll be starting at chapter